What's up, folks? It's your buddy Fatalroadie. Tonight we're going to be bringing you the Raw Recap. It had about as much filler in it as a McDonald's hamburger. We started off with a recap of last week with The Shield, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins trying to get back together. Dean Ambrose comes out and calls out Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins says, we got to put this thing in the past. He puts his fist out. They go back and forth. Then Dean Ambrose puts his fists out. Then they start pushing and shoving each other. And they start fighting. Sheamus and Cesaro come out and start beating down on Rollins and Ambrose. Rollins and Ambrose come back and beat down Sheamus and Cesaro, standing tall in the ring. They each put their fists out, and the Wonder Twin powers now unite. Kurt Angle comes out and sets up the match for SummerSlam. Sheamus and Cesaro versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins for the tag team titles. We then have a match with Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks for the #1 contender for the women's title. Alexa Bliss is sitting on a lifeguard chair at ringside. Sasha Banks wins by submission. It was predictable that she was going to end up winning this match, although it kind of seemed a little weird because they were in Boston, which is Sasha Banks' hometown, and normally WWE likes to have their hometown people lose, so that was kind of weird. Elias Sampson comes out, starts playing a song, running down the crowd. R-Truth interrupts him, gets in the ring, gets beat down by Elias Sampson. Waste. We then have Big Cass come out. The crowd is not letting him try to talk. This Sunday at SummerSlam, crowd boos. This Sunday at SummerSlam, crowd boos. This goes on for a while. He starts talking over the crowd. Nothing really new to say. Enzo comes out, runs his mouth. Big Show comes out. They get in the ring. Long story short, too late. The Show gets beaten up by Big Cass and the club. Gets his hand smashed in the shark cage. Apparently he's going to have a busted up arm for their match at SummerSlam. We then have a recap of the Last Man Standing match from last week. We have a Cruiserweight match for the Cruiserweight title. Akira Tozawa versus Neville. For not being a big fan of the Cruiserweights, I was actually impressed with this match. It was actually pretty good. Akira Tozawa won it. He's now the new Cruiserweight champion. Like I said, I was impressed. They did a lot of flippy shit like Cruiserweights should be doing. Neville invokes his rematch clause, so they're going to have a rematch for the title at SummerSlam. There's a lot of backstage shit going on. I'm just going to skip it, but it brings up our next match, Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor. It was an match. Bray Wyatt won it with Sister Abigail. After the match, Bray Wyatt gives Finn Balor another Sister Abigail. Then we get a bunch of flashy shit. Everything goes dark. Lights come back on. Finn Balor's sitting in the corner. Bray Wyatt is standing in the middle of the ring with a bucket. He walks over, pours the bucket, what looks like blood, on Finn Balor. Finn Balor flips the shit out. We are later told that the bucket had viscous acidic fluid, which makes no sense. I don't know where the hell Michael Cole pulled that out of, but okay. Which later led on to the match at SummerSlam. We are going to finally get Demon Balor against Bray Wyatt. Then we have more recaps again. We then have a match, Mickie James versus Emma. Following the previous News Fest, this was another match. Mickie James won it. Could have skipped it. We then have The Miz versus Jason Jordan. This match really didn't go anywhere because Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel came into the ring, jumped Jordan, and got The Miz disqualified. So Jordan won that match. As they're beating him up, the Hardy Boys come out and beat up on The Miz Taraj, which then sets up a 6-man tag team match. Jason Jordan and the Hardys versus the Three Stooges. It was an okay match. Jason Jordan and the Hardys won it. It really didn't go anywhere. It didn't advance any storylines. It was just a filler match, as it's always been. We then come to the participants of the Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out. Paul Heyman's running his mouth as he always does. The only thing that boy's good at. Samoa Joe comes out, runs his mouth. Braun Strowman comes out, runs his mouth. Roman Reigns comes out and immediately spears Samoa Joe. As he gets up, Braun Strowman grabs Roman Reigns, power slams him. He goes out of the ring, which leaves Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman in the ring, which is really the match that everybody wants to see. But we're stuck with Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns being in this match as well, because they're the only people that can slay the beast. Security jumps into the ring. Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar are apart. They start fighting through the security. Lesnar and Strowman start fighting a little bit. Kurt Angle starts screaming into the back. All the mid-carders come out and start pulling apart Strowman and Lesnar. They break free. They start fighting each other. They pull them back. They break free. They start fighting each other. This goes on for a couple of bits until it goes off the air. Once again, we have another Raw that's full of filler. It has subpar matches. The only good match I'd say happened tonight was the Cruiserweight match, and that's saying a lot, being that I don't like the Cruiserweights. The next only good match was Nia Jax and Sasha Banks, and it was almost predictable to begin from the get-go. Before we end this episode, I want to at least give my best wishes and speedy recovery to Ric Flair. He's supposed to be having surgeries in a couple of days, apparently in some serious condition because he was in an induced coma. They say he's improving, but like I said, they're still going to have to do surgery on him. I don't know exactly what's wrong with him. Hopefully when I do the SmackDown review, I'll have a little bit more information on what's going on. Well, that'll do it for this episode of the Raw Recap. I'll be back tomorrow for the SmackDown review. Leave a comment down below what you thought of tonight's Raw, what you thought of this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.